What would you consider your greatest professional achievement to date?
Ah, you see, there are a couple. And I'm gonna keep it short. When I was young, I wanted to become a marketer because I love advertising. And my parents said, "You're not gonna do that. You're gonna have a proper job." And I became a marketer. That was my first achievement. I did consumer goods for many years, and that was the coolest thing in the world until I quit and said, you know what, finance is getting in my way all the time. I'm joining McKinsey. I became a McKinsey partner. That was my second really big achievement. Then I found out CEOs already know how marketing works, but working with marketers was cool. But I think the biggest was probably when I stepped out 2012 and ran what became the largest ever study on the success of marketers. And it wasn't the study; it's more the the discussions, the trainings, the outreach to help more marketers step up and have better careers and have more impact. I think that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Awesome. And when you say new thinking on how marketers drive growth against all odds, what exactly do you mean by against all odds?
Look, marketing is a really funny profession. We are shaping the future, which also means we can never prove things because it's future. You can't prove the future, and everybody will look at you. I mean, you stand next to finance, everything you say will be just a little less reliable because it is, and then you don't have the power. Even in organizations that are really marketing driven, if you want to make a great customer experience happen, you need all these other people, and they don't report to you, so they can literally ignore you. And then there's technology. I don't need to talk about that, but literally everybody goes crazy. Currently, it's AI. It's really hard to be in that job and feeling confident
Sure.
when there's so much new stuff. But the job is to make growth happen no matter what.
Which is, I mean, couldn't be truer words, which leads us to the next question. Can you just give us a quick summary on what you'll be talking about during your Be Brave event coming up later this year?
So this is going to be truly exciting. And I say that because we will have the largest study ever undertaken on bravery in marketing. There was a bet I took when I was working with one of my friends. She runs the Marketing Society in the UK, and she had a brave theme. And I said, you must be kidding. That's just a buzzword. And then we got into a debate, and I said, okay, let's do a research. So round one is there, round two is going to come. We will talk about how important bravery is to make growth happen against the odds. And initially, I was skeptical, but we found the answers. How it's actually really important. And I'm going to give the number away, but you will see this. It's going to be very important. And it's about three things. As a marketer, if you want to make growth happen, you have to ignite a fire with customers, but also inside the organization. That's really hard. But you need to figure out where growth is coming from. That could look brave because you need to get outside of your department, look at trends and other things. And how do you do that? And some people find that's brave, but that's what we need to do. And then, of course, you rally the people in an organization. And that's not easy. You have to get up on the stage, and people will not like what you say sometimes. And maybe they push against you, but you need to find the bravery to do that in a smart way so you don't get fired for the wrong reason. And of course, you need to dare. That means your plan will never be perfect, but you have to find the bravery to take a step when the moment is right to move. And that's what we're going to talk about. And that's why bravery is such a big deal. And we're going to decode that.
So, I guess without giving too much away, then, what would you consider one of your tips for uniting silos within an organization?
I love this. I mean, look, if you work in a company, any company, big, small, literally most people can ignore your ideas. Sure. I mean, you can tell your boss, but then they will tell people, and maybe they just ignore it. The CEOs who don't get their stuff done. So the question is, how do you find the people that will follow your ideas, even if they are the unusual suspects, people you don't think of? What is the story that you tell that is relevant for people inside the organization? How do you create that movement that you need? Because you can't make that change. I mean, customer experience, you can't make it happen on your own. You need other people to do it. But what will trigger them? What are their needs? And how do you orchestrate that? So creating these movements through a story, through understanding the needs of the organization, finding followers, finding supporters, that's a craft. That's nothing you're born with. And we're going to talk about it.
I love it. I guess off of the back of that, then, can you give us 3 reasons why CMOs should have their entire team join us for the Be Brave event?
Oh, yeah, I love that question. if you're the CMO and you know how to do this, you won't go far because you need your team to step up and do it because you can't. So we're gonna do a couple of really cool things. The first thing why this will be cool is we're gonna really uncover what it means to lead marketing. What is it actually about? And we'll be very specific, very data-driven, and we hear a lot of stories from people who've done it, from marketers. So we're going to have it's going to be a really rounded event on how you can actually be brave. Number two is we're going to do a joint research. Everybody in the audience will have a chance to get their own leadership profile. We're going to do this live as we're there, so people can realize where their strengths are and where they probably need to push. And lastly, look, at these events, inspiring people is almost the easy part. What's harder is to leave people with some practical things they can actually do. So we're going to be, although we're going to have a lot of stories on these things, but we're going to be super practical about steps people can take to become actually braver. Because you're not born brave. Bravery is about actions. And when you learn how to do these things, you suddenly appear much braver than you are, and then you think you are, but it's a skill set. And we're going to talk about the exact how to.
I personally am looking forward to the interactivity, the individual interactivity that we're going to be bringing to this. It's not like something we've done before with these Sky events that we have held in the last couple of years. So I think that in itself will be really exciting and a great addition to what we're talking about as well. So
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question, and this is more for fun. Considering you are constantly traveling for business, for pleasure, what would you consider your favorite city in the entire world?
So here's what I say. I'm not going to give you a city of my favorite because every city I pick is unfair, and I like many cities. But you know what? Auckland is going to become my most favorite undiscovered city because this is the first time I'm here. I'm only here for a day, but next time I'm going to be here for an entire week, and I can't wait to actually not only run these events and meet all of you, but actually get to see the place. And everything I've seen so far looks exciting. Although it's raining today, but it's going to be awesome when I'm coming. So absolutely. It's going to be Auckland.
Well, we're really looking forward to having you. Thank you so much, and can't wait for that week in August.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thanks so much.